Let me ask you something. If someone told you 10 years ago that a household earning $100,000 a year would be skipping doctor visits, cutting back on groceries, and lying awake worrying about money, you would have called that person crazy. That was supposed to be the comfortable number. That was the finish line. But according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, total U.S. household debt just hit $18.8 trillion as of Q4 2025. That is not a government figure. That is your car loan, your credit card, your neighbor's student debt added together. And delinquency rates just hit 4.8%, the highest since 2017. The system is not cracking. It already cracked. And the people feeling it hardest are not the ones at the bottom. They are the ones who thought they were safely in the middle. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly why your income stopped protecting you and what the data says you can do right now.
Here is the story most financial media skips. For 4 decades, the middle class was running on a quiet lie. According to a report cited by Time magazine, between 1979 and 2019, the economy's productivity grew by around 73%. Wages in the middle rose about 23%. So the foundation was already cracked before any of this started. Then inflation arrived. And according to Bloomberg, Americans are now paying $126 for what cost $100 before the pandemic. Wages never absorbed that jump. And then, just as households were adjusting, the student loan system detonated. First, let me show you what this looks like inside a real middle-class budget right now.
Here is what earning between $90,000 and $120,000 actually means in 2026. You are not broke, but you are not comfortable either. And the data confirms that feeling completely. According to TAI News, even in households earning between $90,000 and $120,000, 25% of respondents said they were making at least one trade-off just to afford healthcare: cutting utilities, driving less, borrowing money to cover a medical bill on a 6-figure income. Let that sit for a second. According to a KFF Health Tracking poll from March 2026, about half of adults in households earning under $90,000 skipped or rationed medication in the past year because of cost. This is not a poverty story anymore. This is a middle-class story. According to Resume Now's 2026 Cost of Living Crunch report, 92% of American workers cut back spending in 2025, including on essentials. Only 12% said their pay kept up with inflation. 92%. That is not a struggling minority. That is almost everyone.
Now here is where it compounds, because this is not one debt problem. It is 3 hitting simultaneously. Credit card balances hit $1.277 trillion as of Q4 2025, according to LendingTree and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Highest balance recorded since tracking began in 1999. And the average APR on new credit card offers right now is 23.75%. So if you are carrying a balance, you are not just in debt. You are in debt that is growing faster than you can pay it down. Layer on top of that the auto loan situation. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, over 3 million car repossessions were projected for 2025, a level not seen since 2009. Over 100 million Americans currently hold an auto loan, and combined auto debt exceeds $1.66 trillion. And then, the student loan numbers. According to the New York Fed and the Century Foundation, student loan serious delinquency jumped to 16.19% in Q4 2025, up from just 0.70% a year earlier, a 23 times increase in a single year. 3 separate debt categories, all deteriorating, all at the same time. Now let us get geographic, because this is not evenly spread across the country, and where you live right now matters enormously. Florida is one of the clearest examples. Auto insurance premiums in Florida have climbed so aggressively that residents in cities like Miami and Tampa are now making a choice most people do not expect: pay the insurance or pay the car loan. Because covering both on a middle-class income has become genuinely difficult for a growing number of households. When insurance on a single vehicle runs $300 to $400 a month on top of a $500 loan payment, you're looking at nearly $1,000 a month just to keep one car on the road. In Texas, where cost of living was the great migration promise for years, property taxes have quietly eaten into whatever savings people thought they were building by leaving California or New York. Houston and Dallas households are discovering that the sticker price of living there was always lower than the total cost. And in the Midwest, in states like Ohio and Michigan, the data from Liberty Street Economics shows that borrowers in the lowest income zip codes have seen their 90-plus day mortgage delinquency rates surge from around 0.5% in 2021 to nearly 3% by late 2025. That is a 6 times increase in 6 years. And those zip codes are not abstract dots on a map. They are neighborhoods where people went to work every day, paid their bills on time for years, and slowly ran out of room.
Here is the honest truth about what all of this adds up to. According to the Resume Now report, 60% of Americans say they could cover 3 months or less of expenses if they lost their job today. That means most of the country is one layoff or one medical bill away from the kind of financial pressure that does not stay quiet for long. The households that are genuinely holding steady right now tend to share one specific characteristic: not a high income, low fixed costs. The people who locked in a 3% mortgage in 2020 or 2021 and have no variable rate debt are insulated in a way that has nothing to do with earning more. It has everything to do with what their monthly obligations look like. If you are renting in a high-cost city, carrying a credit card balance at 23%, and financing a vehicle over 72 months, your income level matters far less than those 3 facts. That is the pressure point. That is where the math stops working, regardless of what your salary says. So here is what this data is actually telling you. Being middle class in 2026 is no longer a financial safety net. The numbers are clear on that. The debt doing the most damage right now is variable rate and high interest, credit cards and student loans specifically, not mortgages. And the geography of this crisis matters. Florida, Texas, Ohio, these are not struggling states. These are places where millions of people with real incomes are discovering that the cost of staying afloat keeps quietly rising faster than everything else. Here is the question I want to leave you with. If your income stopped tomorrow, how many days until your financial life starts unraveling? Drop your honest number in the comments. And if this video made you think differently about where you actually stand right now, subscribing means you will see every time we run numbers like these. Because on this channel, we do not guess, we count.